Please don't eat what's in these boxes. Thank you very much. That's already a hint. Ready? Starting. Was that my 3, 2, 1? Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We are so glad that you are here and here to celebrate. We are not often in person on Saturday mornings anymore at B'nai Zion, so this is especially a treat for us, and especially because we've got awesome things to celebrate today. You are going to, most important thing that we're celebrating today is Shabbat. Sorry, Ricky. Second most important thing is Anna becoming Bat Mitzvah. I know everybody wants to say Anna first. Sorry, Anna. Sorry to you too. Shabbat, most important. And Anna is going to be leading us in most of the service today. We're using the Mishkan T'filah books that are in front of you. She has chosen which selections to read. There's lots of options in these books, and she chose the ones that she thought would be most meaningful to you because they were meaningful to her. So I hope that you appreciate that when you're seeing the selections she's chosen. If you've not used Mishkan T'filah before, I'm going to be calling out page numbers. Sometimes we jump around. She actually selected for most of the service chunks that don't make you jump around. And so if we are reading and we don't tell you another page, it usually means that it's either on the very next page or the one right after that. So don't panic, just turn the page and you'll be fine. And if not, do that, and I'll know. I have to call out a page number. But if you are looking at that book, you'll notice there are 2 page numbers at the bottom of every page. One of them is black, and that's the page number for that book. But there's also a blue bracketed page number that is for the big book that includes everything. This one that you have in front of you is actually the small version of the book. It's only Shabbat. But there's another book that's just as thick that has weekdays and festivals. And then there's the big version that has all of the above. The blue bracketed numbers refer to that big book so that the people watching, mostly people online, are using the big books. They bought them for themselves, and this way everybody is literally on the same page. If there's more information I need to tell you, I will try to do that as we go. There's one other tiny bit of information that I tried to explain last night. So for some of us in this room, Shavuot is over already. It was Thursday night to Friday. For some of us in this room, Shavuot, the Festival of Weeks, is still going on. Some of us have 2 days of Shavuot. And so we are trying to honor some of all of the above. We're not going to honor all of the above, but some of what we're doing today is because we are treating it as if it is no longer the second day of Shavuot, and some of it we are treating as if it is still the second day of Shavuot. So one of the most important things, the most important thing that happens on Shavuot is we receive the law, and Anna is very aware of that because she is showing her commitment to receiving the law by becoming Bat Mitzvah. But the second most meaningful thing that we do on Shavuot is a Yizkor part of the service where we remember everyone, our relatives, the ones we've lost. And so you may have noticed that all of the memorial plaques are lit on the wall, and we have our memorial books out. I still have the memorial candle lit because some of us light on the second day. So for all of you that needed that. And I think, now I said that 3 times, I think I'm done. We begin our service on page 288, and in a very surprise move, Anna's going to lead the first part of the service. That never happens here.
May my life be one link in a chain of goodness. As I say the prayers of my ancestors, help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering, which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage. May I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth that I have found in the good deeds I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes.
Amen. See what I mean by she chose some really good things here? We continue on page 290 with the song that welcomes us. And just in case you haven't seen this book before, and I say it's a very distracting book, I want you to notice what's going on below the line about where the history of this comes, this specific prayer. Max, we on? Yeah. Thank you. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Israel. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov to do that 2 times. We're going to do it one more time. It's a really easy song with very few words, and you are too distracted reading the stuff at the bottom, so try it again one more time. Ma tovu. Is that better? Do you hear them this time? Ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. That was way better. I'm sorry for everybody online because you can't hear them at all. And you know what? I joke about 200. We're really close to 200 today, really. You may be seated for a moment. We are turning to page 293. And we are going to be saying blessings for everyday miracles. I don't think you're supposed to join me for this. I don't remember. We are doing this where we're saying the first 6 words in Hebrew, and then the chatima, the signature, the punchline, I call it, in English. I think you'll catch on, but this way everyone can participate. You'll notice on the side, when they created this prayer book, they tried to give you alternate kinds of inspiration about what the prayer itself means, but I think you're going to find that there's a lot of meaning in each thing that you're reading, and even alternate meanings. It's one of my favorite parts of the service. It begins on page 293, and it's going to keep going page after page for another few pages. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. See what I did there? That's how we do it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes and slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. So I don't think that we're all literally looking just like God, but sometimes it's really cool to think of it that way. So I want you to smile. This is what God looks like today. And I want you to look around, because if you can look at every single person each day as if they were created in God's image, the world would be a way cooler place when you look around saying, hey, God, you're looking kind of good today. Wow, that's a nice look on you, God. Think about that. See, smiling, I like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Now this next one, I want you to look at the Hebrew for a second, and it says, the punchline, the chatima says, Sha'asani Yisrael. But it says in English, who made me a Jew. So we give options on this one. You are welcome to say who made me a Jew. You are welcome on this one to say who made me Israel. Israel is someone who struggles with God. And most of us, so we have many people here who may never have been in services before, many people who are not Jewish. For today, you've heard me say that we make you Jewish, but you're part of Israel today. So whatever it is you choose to say or skip it, I'm just warning you ahead of time, that's what the punchline is going to be here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor. I almost did the Hebrew. It's irresistible, and I didn't do it. So the next blessing is not part of that song thing we've been doing. In case you might learn something today, we're going to say the blessing for fulfilling the commandment about learning. The blessing in Hebrew is, and it's a commandment blessing, so Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. And once you say a blessing, you have to do the thing. So below the line, there are 3 little things that you could learn that would be Torah things. So for example, where it said in prayer, Israel often refers to the Jewish people. And then when it says Ozer Yisrael b'gvura, which was one of the ones who girds Israel with strength, this is kind of a fun thing. In Brachot, which is part of the Talmud, it says that you say it when you're putting your belt on. We're girded each morning with new strength, if you put your belt on every day. And then for the one that says Otel Yisrael b'tifara, who crowns Israel with splendor, in the same section of the Talmud, it says you say it whenever you put a hat on or other headgear, because we are crowned each morning with divine glory and presence. Nice way to start your days. We continue on page 312. Get ready. Come on.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'amad yivrach hiruteh, v'amlech malchuteh, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, uvizman kariv, vimaru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'alom almaya, yitbarach. Yitbarach, v'yistabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha, brichu, le'elam minko birchata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nehemata, da'amin ram bi'ama, v'imaru, amen.
3:13.
Baruch et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome then, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer Hamorot. Please turn to page 317 and we will read responsively. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear, in every land and every age. Your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity.
We give thanks for the sages and teachers who will bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully, we recall the lawgivers and prophets and psalmists and sages of Israel. And joyfully, we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose.
May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Unless you are in one of my Hebrew classes and would like to join me to lead in the next prayer.
And while they're coming up, I have a request. Anyone who doesn't have a prayer book and wants one, please raise your hand because there are some extras around the room. We should have enough for everybody. Anybody need a prayer book? Nope? Good. Hey, you need one? You should look over her shoulder. Go ahead.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלטתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Love Adonai, your God, with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. We continue on the bottom of page 321. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
That was my cue. Mi chamocha va'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot oseh Philley, Norah tehilot oseh Philley. Blessed are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Please rise for the T'filah section, which begins on page 323. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yaakov,
Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'imahot, Umivigula Livne V'nehem, L'ma'an Shemo B'ahava, Melech Ozer Umashir Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mechachel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Ve'ofech Holi, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memit Umachayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah L'chachayot Hakol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol.
Okay, this one's tricky. So we're going to be on pages 327 and 326, and I'm going to explain what it looks like first. So if you go to 327, there's English that starts with "We Sanctify," and then there's English that says "Holy, Holy," and then we go to the page before and we do the one line of Hebrew that comes before it. I don't know why they made it so complicated in this book, but this is the way we like to do it, and we're going to keep doing that. We're going to do English, English, and then the Hebrew line above it, and English, English, and the Hebrew line above it. Just follow us, we'll be good. Page 327 at the top first. We sanctify your name on earth, even as all things to the end of time and space proclaim your holiness. And in the words of the prophet we say, Holy, holy, holy is the God of all creation. The whole earth is filled with God's glory. The line above it on 326. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech haaretz kivodo. We stay on 327 now. Source of our strength, sovereign God, how majestic is your name in all the earth. Praise be the glory of God in heaven and earth. Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo. You alone are our God and our Creator. You are our ruler and our helper. And in your mercy you will proclaim before all of the living, I am Adonai your God. Adonai shall reign forever, your God, O Zion, from generation to generation. Hallelujah. Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohayich Zion, ledor vador. Hallelujah. Okay, we finished that confusing part. Page 328, though. To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Okay, you stay up here. Which one do you want to do? You call it. You want to do this one or this one?
This one.
That's good. We couldn't make up our minds on this one. We will be singing from the bottom of page 328, because we like this one. We like them both. That's why it was hard to choose. Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'ni uven b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת שמים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. That was good. And they sounded good singing too, didn't they? I approve of this congregation. It sounds wonderful to me today. Thank you, everybody. You may be seated. We continue at the bottom of page 329. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to holiness in time. It's a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Please join me. On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Grant us enough health to fulfill our duties and the compassion we need to attend to others. Teach us humility that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others, and give us courage to be true to our highest selves, and the charity to see the best in those around us. Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you. We praise you, Adonai, whom alone we serve with reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. Please turn to page 332. This is another thing that continues for a few pages. I'm going to read the English, although you're welcome to join me, but I'm hoping at the end of each of these little phrases, they're actually little sentences, you would say, Modim anachnu lach, with me, which means we give thanks to you. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, Modim anachnu lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, Modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, Modim anachnu lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, Modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, Modim anachnu lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, Modim anachnu lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, Modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lacha na'eh lehodot. The top of page 324. Max, can you turn off our mic for a sec? Okay. Thank you. Hang on 1 second. We have a technical problem. Do you hear me? I have control. He has control. Too many people have control. Page 334. This is about peace. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Do that one more time. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Here comes the Spanish part. Ya la 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 la, ya la la. That was for you. Ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hebrew again. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. So the words in this book have been very inspirational, and I think that you might appreciate them. But right now, you have a choice of using the words that are in your heart or the words that are on the pages. But we are going to meet again on page 337. Take some time for yourself for some silent prayer.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. Be acceptable to you. Adonai, my rock, my rock and my redeemer.
Adonai Tzuri.
Adonai, my rock,
V'go'ali.
and my
Anna's clapping. What? No, it's okay. But I got to talk first. They can sit down. We'll call them up. That was a good idea, though. She's good at leading the service. So we are going to be turning to page 362 for the Torah service. I'm going to explain a few things. The first thing is connected to the thing that I said about how we are on Shavuot and not on Shavuot at the same time, because Anna is going to be, and for those of you who are not here often, you may not know this, because most of you are here because there's been a Mirav B'nai Mitzvah, there have been Mirav B'nai Mitzvah, and you're here for all of them, and so almost the only thing you know about our Saturday morning services is that the kids chant Torah and chant Haftarah. But most of our kids do not chant either of the above. We don't chant Torah and we don't chant Haftarah unless Ricky is your papa. And then you do, and you do it magnificently. But Anna has had the amazing blessing to have 3 rabbis in town when she became Bat Mitzvah. And Rabbi Sidney is the rabbi at Gurthachim, Rabbi Feivel is her husband, and me. And she was trained by all of us in some way or another, in many ways. And so she gets control. She chose to be using selections from all of the above. So when you hear her chanting Torah, she is chanting the Maftir selection. This is going to mean something for some of you. The Maftir selection for the second day of Shavuot. And when she is chanting Haftarah, she is chanting from the Haftarah selection for today's Torah portion as if it were not Shavuot. So if you have your handouts, the translations for both are in the center fold, as I call it. So she's not going to be reading a translation to you, so you can look at that while she's chanting, but I'd rather have you just paying attention to her, because you will understand every word she says. She's really good at this, but that's something I wanted to explain to you. I'm going to show you, we're going to do something that we have not done for a bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah for many years, and that is we're going to be marching with the Torah. You know, it's awesome to realize that the Torah is not something that lives in this holy closet. It's something that is ours. It is a part of us. In the Torah we read, it's not in the heavens, so that someone's going to say, who's going to go all the way up to the heavens to get it? It is right here, and we get to hold on to it, we get to touch it, we get to kiss it. So we're going to teach you about Torah electricity. And so if the Torah comes around, I'm going to warn you, it's going up this way and coming back this way. It's not going to make its way around to the outside edges. Aren't you sorry you sat by the walls? Just kidding, because we got you covered. So what's going to happen is the Torah is going to be marching past on the edge, and you are going to take either your hand and touch and kiss, or you're going to take your prayer book and touch and kiss, or if you're wearing a talit, you're going to take your talit and touch and kiss. It doesn't matter. Whichever one you choose, you're going to choose one, and then you've got to make sure that it makes it all the way to the end. So the way we do that is we take, touch, kiss, and then you pass on the Torah electricity to the next person. Now, what happens if you say, yeah, I'm not feeling this touching, kissing thing for the Torah? That's okay. No one will think less of you, but I will think less of you if you don't let the person on the end get some that they wanted. So you could potentially do touch, kiss, and pass that. Oh, without the face, yes. You could just pass it along. Okay, try it without the face. Oh, much better. Okay, you could do that, however you do it. Sorry. We practiced it with the face, and now I pick on her for the face. So that's what was going to happen for that. The other thing, though, that I would like you to do now is you have at the edges of your seats, at the two ends of your seats, you have these adorable little boxes. And inside the boxes is something that is not intermission refreshment. You are not allowed to eat in the sanctuary. What did you say, Rabbi? Those are hard. You are not allowed to eat in the sanctuary. These things are for throwing, for gently tossing. Say it with me. Gently tossing at Anna. We toss candy at a bar bat mitzvah student to show that learning is sweet. Whatever learning was for you, please remember that in my congregation, learning is sweet. Do not toss it so hard that learning is painful. Okay, please be gentle. We designed this beautiful new sanctuary so that it's got a glass door behind to protect us from the people who want to not make it gentle. They designed these delightful, I call them the candy ball chandeliers. Please don't get one into the candy ball chandelier. This is not challenge accepted, Rabbi. The challenge for you today is to gently toss it so that it doesn't hurt her when it makes it to her. You will know when to do this. It will be after she finishes chanting Torah. It is after she finishes chanting Haftarah. You will know when to do it because I will be sneaking the Torah off of the bima so that you're not gently tossing at the Torah, because that would make me very sad too. Don't make the rabbi sad. Don't eat in the sanctuary. Toss gently at her. When it's finished and you leave, you can eat as much as you want of these, okay? When we're done tossing, I need to ask the children and the children at heart to come and pick up all of the candy, because we don't want to be stepping on it and falling over it for the rest of the service. I think I covered what we needed. Honoring 3 rabbis, Torah, electricity, we're marching, and there's going to be candy. Did I forget anything? Okay, we're doing a good job. Okay, Max, she could be back on again. We are on page 362, and I am going to invite, and by the way, does everybody know who has honors for things? You know who the ark openers are? If you're an ark opener, do you know who you are? If you're an undresser of the Torah, do you know who you are? Does everybody know now? Because
I think so.
Did you tell? I think everybody knows. Yeah, I think the people know. And if not, I'll call you by name in case you didn't know. But most people found out, and they just found out a minute ago. And I do this intentionally so that Anna still looks the best. Everybody else makes mistakes, and Anna still looks good. But she's doing that by herself. We begin on page 362. I call our ark openers up, please. Oh, wait, they were the people who were just singing. That's why Anna was saying, why don't you just stay up here? She was smart. Page 362, please rise when the ark is open. Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein k'ma'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol ha'olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai le'amo yiten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, av harachamim hetiva v'rtzonecha et Zion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, ki v'cha levad batachnu, melech elam v'nisa adon olamim. We're going to continue on the bottom of pages 364 and 365. In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it. We will sing at the top of page 364 and continue to sing most of the things on page 366. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai iti, u'neromim hashemo yachdav. Exalt Adonai with me. Let us extol God. Let us extol God's name together. We'll be marching while we're singing Al Shlosha Devarim, which is the second song on page 367. Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam Omed, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam Omed, Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gmilut chasadim, Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gmilut chasadim, Al Shlosha Devarim. The dressers follow us. The Torah. Close the ark. Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam Omed. Al Shlosha. Who are our dressers?
Al
Get 'em.
Shlosha Devarim,
Al Shlosha. Undressers. Ha'olam Omed. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gmilut chasadim, Rosalind Sarah Sadie, ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gmilut chasadim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam. Watch, hang on. Dangle it down.
Al Shlosha Devarim,
Can you help me take this off, please?
Al
Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha. Thank you. Put this on there. No, just the yod. Almost. Get ready. Sit down, please. Where's the yod? It's hiding right here. Just. All right, most of you already know this part of the spiel. When you look at the Hebrew in the prayer book, you see the consonants. You've heard that Hebrew doesn't have vowels most of the time. It does have vowels, you just don't see them. You hear them. The word shalom is going to be said shalom, but when you look at the word in Hebrew, you're just going to see a sh and a o and a m. So in the prayer book, we put all the vowels in there. In the Torah, all those vowels are out. So you have to know if the word is shalom or shalem or shilum, which all mean different things, related but different. And you have to, there's no punctuation. So you have to know where the sentence ends. And there's no punctuation to tell you how to phrase the words into phrases so that it makes some sense. She now knows how to do all that. And on top of that, she knows how to read it and chant it. And she does it beautifully. That's not to put pressure on you. That's supposed to make you feel more comfortable. Do you feel more pressure or more comfortable?
A little bit of both.
Good. Well, then breathe again. So this is, I would say, out of all the things that she did, and she's doing a phenomenal job, but out of all the things she did, having to learn Hebrew, having to choose which parts she thought would inspire you, how to inspire you, all the things that she's done so far to make this a beautiful service, the most important thing that she does today is when she is called to bless the Torah and read from the Torah, because she couldn't do that if she were not an adult, and it's the highest honor you get as a Jewish adult. So, now that I put the pressure back on again, you ready? Ta'amod ya'alit bat morin bat mitzvah. Hold on.
Baruch hu Adonai Hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai Havorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. this on or not?
Uvyom habikurim behakrivhem mincha chadasha ladonai b'shavuotechem mikra kodesh yiyeh lachem kom lechet avodah lo ta'asu v'hikravtem olah L'reach nichoach ladonai parim b'nei bakar shenayim ayil echad shiva chevasim b'nei shana umin chatam solet belula vashamin shlosha esronim lapar ha'echad Shnei esronim la'ayil ha'echad Isaron la'keves ha'echad L'shiv'at hakvasim Se'ir izim echad Lechaper alechem Milvad olah hatamid Uminchato ta'asu Tamimim yuyu lachem V'nizkehem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayeh olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai
Shema.
noten haTorah.
Oh man, you made it to the end. Anyway, that was awesome. So at this point, hold on, we cover up the Torah. It's in there. Would you grab that for me, please? So we are taught that when the Torah is out, in many ways, our prayers may have an extra added boost to be able to reach God. So at this time in our service, we are going to say a few extra prayers. One is a prayer of healing. If you have anyone for whom you'd like to be saying a prayer of healing, recuperation, please call out the names. משברח אבותינו ואימותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, הוא יברך את החולים, the ones we just named. Let's do this in English too. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those we have named and those we hold in our hearts. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say Amen. Did I tell you we're on page 371? I didn't tell you that? We're on page 371. We'll sing in the middle of the page, Prayer of Healing. Mi sheberach Avotenu Mikor habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And in our congregation, we have also come to add, Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu, may the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all of those whom we've entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom, protecting us, serving us, teaching us, or healing us in this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve. Give them courage to succeed and strength to persevere. May they return home safely, and let us say, Amen. We continue on page 370, which is the page before. You can join me in the Hebrew. That's the fun part about this blessing. This book is that there's a transliteration for everything, but this is where we bless the person who had the honor of reading from the Torah and blessing the Torah. Yep. Come on, do one I like. Okay. Misheberach avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, hu yivarech et Ya'alit bat Ari u'Morin, בעבור שעלתה לכבוד המקום ולכבוד התורה. בזכר זה הקדוש ברוך הוא ישמריה, I gotta do it like this, וישמריה ויציליה מכל צרה וצוקה ומכל נגע ומחלה. וישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיה עם כל ישראל ונאמר Amen. May the one who blessed, you could do this with me in English. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless Anna, daughter of Rick and Maureen, since she has come up to the Torah in honor of God and Torah. May she merit from the Holy One of blessing, protection, rescue from any trouble or distress, and from any illness, minor or serious. May God send blessing and success in her every endeavor, together with all Israel, and let us say, Amen. So we have Donald's coming to lift, and Deborah and Abigail are coming to dress. Please. When the Torah is lifted, and we're, oh, look at that, that's cool. When the Torah gets lifted, please rise whenever you're ready. Here. Vezot HaTorah Asher Sa Moshe That's pretty good. He's getting good at this. Can we do one more time so you can practice it like with Margalit? I don't mean today. You may be seated. Now, hold on, let me see. This is going to go like that. We're going to dress this, and she's going to do her part. She's got more to do for you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar bin ve'im tovim v'ratza v'divrechem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdov uv'Yisrael amo uv'imvei ha'emet b'tzedek. Vayhi ish echad mitzorah mimishpachat hadani ushmo manoach v'ishto akara v'lo yalada. Vayera malach Adonai el ha'isha vayomer elecha hinena atakara v'lo yaladet v'harit v'yaladet ben ve'ata hishamrina ve'al tishti yain ve'shechar ve'al tochli kol tameh ki hinach hara ve'yaladet ben umora lo ya'ale al rosho כי נזיר אלוהים יהיה הנער מן הבטן, והוא יחל להושיע את ישראל מיד פלישתים. ותבוא האישה ותאמר לאישה לאמור, איש האלוהים בא אלי, ומראהו כמראה מלאך האלוהים נורא מאוד, ולא שאלתיהו אמזהו, ואת שמו לא הגיד לי. ויאמר לי, הנך הרה ויולדת בן, ואתה אל תשתי יין ושכר, ואל תאכלי כל טומאה, כי נזיר אלוהים יהיה הנער מן הבטן עד יום מותו. ויתר מנוח אל אדוני ויאמר, בי אדוני איש האלוהים אשר שלחת יבוא נא עוד אלינו, ויראנו מה נעשה לנער היולד. וישמע האלוהים בקול מנוח, ויבוא מלאך האלוהים עוד אל האישה, ויהי יושבת בשדה, ומנוח אישה אין עמה. ותמהר האישה ותרץ ותגיד לאישה, ותאמר אליו, הנה נראה אלי האיש אשר בא ויום אלי. ויבוא קום וילך מנוח אחרי אשתו, ויבוא אל האיש ויאמר לו, האתה האיש אשר דיברת אל האישה? ויאמר אני. ויאמר מנוח, עתה יבוא דבריך. מה יהיה משפט הנער ומעשהו? ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, צור כל העולמים, צדיק בכל הדורות, האל הנאמן, האומר ועושה, המדבר ומקיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ותפארת על הכל. אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמך בפי כל חי, תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Gently, gently, go. Toss, underhand, toss, toss. Gently, gently. Ouch. Gently, gently, gently. Gently, gently. Gently, gently. That looks painful. Gently, gently. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov v'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov v'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov v'siman tov. Yehelanu. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov v'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov v'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov. Kids, come and clean up. Yehelanu. No more tossing. Yehelanu, Yehelanu. L'chol Yisrael, still no eating. Yehelanu, Yehelanu. L'chol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu. L'chol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu. lanu u'lechol Yisrael. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov siman tov. There's more. Mazel tov u'siman tov.
Save a starburst for me.
Lanu. You got him?
No, wait, Anna. I'll say something.
Okay. Shoot. That was wonderful.
Oh, I have to get that off.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You ready? Was that too exciting? Did it hurt?
No.
It looked like it hurt.
Can I get some water?
Can I put this behind?
Yeah. Can I get some water?
Yeah. Don't you have some there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, grab it. Okay, that was too exciting. Anybody see anything go into the candy dishes? Please tell me no. Didn't that sound painful to you? We often use another kind of candy. And this one, it sounded every time it hit. I was hearing like, ah! I was glad I was out of the way. You sure you're okay? Okay. She wakes up tomorrow with lots of red spots on her. I'm blaming you. That wasn't gentle. No, it's okay. Can you breathe? That was really wonderful. Wasn't it really wonderful? Yeah, we don't usually applaud at these things, but I would. That was amazing. That was really wonderful. So at this point, come to the center. Anna has some words of wisdom she'd like to tell you about, life and whatever. I don't know, whatever she's telling us. Take a deep breath. Take it slow. Say it loud and proud.
Shabbat Shalom. This is a really special week. Not only is it my Bat Mitzvah service weekend, but we also celebrate Shavuot this week. This is one of the most important Jewish holidays. It celebrates when the Israelites got the Torah and commandments at Mount Sinai after God set us free from slavery in Egypt. Many people celebrate today as the second day of Shavuot. One of the Torah readings for Shavuot is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verses 1 through 17. This section discusses the ways we should celebrate the Festival of Weeks, or in other words, Shavuot. It also says we need to celebrate Sukkot and Passover. In Deuteronomy chapter 16, verses 11 and 14, we read this commandment. You shall rejoice before the Eternal your God with your son and daughter, your male and female slave, the Levite in your communities, and the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow in your midst. When I read this, I realized that it repeated a theme of everyone coming together. The Torah is showing how God wanted for everyone to go and celebrate Shavuot, Sukkot, and Passover together, even if they don't know each other. How do we fulfill God's commandment of coming together in our world today? Today, it feels like our communities and our world are divided. In what ways do we celebrate together? In what ways do we work together? At the time of the first Passover and 7 weeks later, the first Shavuot, we were slaves, poor and hungry, and we shared what we had with each other. Now when we observe these holy days, we remember our redemption and are reminded to share what we have with others. The part of the Torah portion that I am reading is about which animals the Israelites would use as offerings on Shavuot. Shavuot takes a lot of preparation as God asks for many offerings. It's a lot of work, but when everyone helps, getting ready for Shavuot is an easier job. Not long ago, there was an example in my world of how divided we are as a community, and how in our time we can fulfill God's commandments by working together. A few months ago, my dad went on a walk and he saw something strange. Every house in the neighborhood had a Ziploc bag with a piece of paper in it in their yard. He picked one up and found that it was a disgusting pamphlet blaming Jews for many problems, such as controlling the media and the transatlantic slave trade. It hurt my heart to see these sickening ideas. My siblings and I immediately went out and started to pick up more than 150 of these pamphlets off the streets near my house. Just as we were disheartened, many others were too. Our friends and people we didn't even know helped us to notify others to get these off the streets and watch out for acts like these. It was wonderful to see on social media that mostly non-Jews who we didn't even know posted things about how awful this was. It is sad to know that there are people who do think like this, but it makes me feel better to know that there are people who are not afraid to stand up and help. The Torah commands us to come together as a community, just as the Shreveport community did here. Coming together with friends and strangers helps us to learn from each other and grow. I also saw that when many people donate a little time and effort, the individual load is lighter and the effect is greater. One way I plan to donate a little time and effort is to help the North Louisiana Jewish Federation. I encourage you to consider joining me in this effort. We can give them money, volunteer activities like the Purim Carnival, the Hanukkah Party, or Camp High. When we help others too, because the North Louisiana Jewish Federation helps not just synagogues, but also they contribute to other efforts like helping the hungry and the homeless, and educating people about Israel and anti-Semitism. They give scholarships to make sure that all kids who want can go to camp, which I think is very important because I go to camp and it's a very fun time. Helping the North Louisiana Jewish Federation as a community helps us share our Judaism with each other. The North Louisiana Jewish Federation helps people in need, just like how we helped each other when we were slaves and freed from Egypt. That is part of what I love being about Jewish. I don't think about the rules and commandments as much as I think about the values. I realize now that I am a Jewish adult. The responsibility is on me to deal with the rules, but especially to use the values in my day-to-day life. One of my values is supporting each other. I'm extremely grateful for everyone who has supported me to help me get to this special moment. For everyone who could make it in person, for everyone who couldn't make it in person, but made the effort to watch online, thank you. And smash that like button down below. Sorry. Thank you to everyone from B'nai Zion and Agudas Achim for joining together to celebrate with me. I appreciate all of my teachers who put in the effort to teach me and prepare me for my adult Jewish life. A special thank you to Miss Sharon and Miss Goldie, who were my first teachers in Sunday school, and to Miss Goldie, who drove me to Hebrew almost every Wednesday for the last 2 years. I would also like to give a special thanks to all the rabbis in Shreveport. I may be the last mural to say that because I'm sorry that Rabbi Sidney and Rabbi Feivel are moving soon. I'm so thankful to have been able to learn from both of these rabbis. How cool was it that I could have so many rabbis as teachers? And Rabbi Jana. Your warmth and care for each person, including me, has created a safe environment for everyone. You've given me so many hours of your time and gifted me with knowledge that I will never forget. I'm very grateful to be able to call you my rabbi. Thank you. To all my friends who came here today, you keep my life full of laughter. Thank you for being here. I am blessed to have an enormous family, and I can't take the time to thank everyone individually right now. But to my aunts and uncles and cousins, thank you for everything and all the encouragement. I love you. Grandma, I can't express enough how much you mean to me. I always cherish my visits with you and the kisses and hugs that go with them. Your kind demeanor and loving nature has left a mark in my heart that I will never forget. You and your wisdom have set a great example. I love you. Melena.
Take a deep breath. Grandma, say you're welcome, and then we're good. Just say you're welcome, and she'll stop crying. She loves you. Look, she loves you too. Now you made her cry. Look. Yeah, pass it down. You weren't supposed to be the one that cried. I said try to make everybody else cry. Sheesh. You okay? Okay. Take a deep breath. You want some water? You okay? Is this yours? I think she means it. Okay.
Melena, you may be away at college during the year, but you have really helped me a lot by setting a great example and giving me good advice while preparing for my Bat Mitzvah. Thank you, and I love you.
You're next.
Alex,
Here.
I've always looked up to you because you are quite comical and have a great sense of style and superior taste in music. I love when I make you laugh because I know it means that I'm actually funny. Natalia, we share clothes, laughter, and gossip. I love that we can always tell each other what happens in our life, such as things at school. I love you. Thank you. Marguerite, I know that we often push each other's buttons, but I do really appreciate the nice things you always do for me, like bringing my phone when I'm too lazy. I want you to know that I'm always here for you, and I love you. Papa, my passion about Judaism has come from you. You always encourage me to do my best. I've come to appreciate that it means you believe in me, and I also see how it helps me to do my best. I can't imagine ever achieving all the things that you do. I know that you are active in so many organizations, and you are running the multi-generation business, and always seem to have errands to run, but somehow you still make time for me. Thank you. I love you. Mom, you are always there when I need you, like when my bus is late and you drive 20 extra minutes to pick me up from school, or when you take me for a treat after a very long day just because I ask. It's hard to get you alone, but I know I can always lean on you, and your hugs are the best medicine. I love you. I couldn't imagine a better mom. Both of you have been a guiding light in my life and a pillar of strength that I'm able to lean on. Well, not you, like my parents. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh my goodness. Can we go now? Oh my goodness. We are ready now to put the Torah away. We turn to page 374, and in case you didn't know, Billy Ray and Ginger are opening up the Ark. Thank you. We don't usually have to call out all the names, but today, it's a surprise for everybody. So I think we're done, by the way. If we haven't called your name yet, you're off the hook. Don't be stressed. All right. Please, when the Ark is open, please rise. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Shem Adonai. Ki nisgav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted. Go ahead. You can't see. At the bottom of the page, for I have given you good instruction. Do not abandon my Torah. It is the tree of life for those who hold fast to it, and all its supporters are happy. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Return us to you, Adonai, and we will return. Renew our days as of old. Kiss and touch opportunity. You're welcome to touch, kiss. If you're this close, you might as well take advantage of the opportunities. And then when the Ark is closed, you may be seated. Thank you. Okay, I am going to please ask Mama and Papa to please come up and say a few words. Come on up. Into the microphone to Anna. Anna, you're going to stand here. Max, you could turn off her mic while they're talking and turn that mic on. Thank you.
I feel like I should be given a financial report. Really, thank you so much, everybody that's here. It means so much to us and to me and my family, and everyone that came from far and near, and even those of you out in the cyber world. Anna is our fourth child, and they say that the middle child is the neglected child, but in a family of 5 children, I think the fourth one probably falls pretty much by the wayside also. So maybe it was hard to find things to say, but after her performance today, wow. I actually, what I have to say today is she said it all herself, But I will say that, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, people tell me that it keeps me young to have young kids. But really and truly what keeps me young is being 69 years old and still having my mother alive. And I can tell you this, about a year ago I was ill at home and my mother made for me some matzo ball soup.
Aww.
So what 69-year-old son gets that? So today is a rite of passage where, Anna, you are now recognized as an adult, and you are to take into yourself your responsibility for your Judaism and learning of your Judaism. And I would say that you're off on a wonderful springboard. There were some words that were said last week when we were attending services at Agudath Achim, and I'd like to read those words right now because it shows how Anna has really stepped up to the plate. This is Shavuot, and during Shavuot we reenact the love and awe our ancestors experienced at the foot of Mount Sinai, hearing the words of Torah for the very first time. Along with words of Torah, the people experience thunder and lightning and terrifying loud noises, and they tremble in fear. They're so frightened toward the end of their initial Sinai experience that they tell Moses that they'll do whatever God commands, but just don't let God come anywhere near them. While it may seem counterintuitive to celebrate a moment in our collective memory so fueled by fear, I am reminded of some of the reasons people join Jewish communities like ours. We come here to find comfort in Torah and in each other when life is loud and bright and overwhelming. We come here to learn how to use our Torah to fight back against the fear generated by the state of society, both here and in the wider world. In a rabbinical school class about finding out the needs of our congregants in building sacred community, a rabbi of vibrant Los Angeles synagogue advised us to ask our future congregants, what keeps you up at night? In order to figure out what our communities need to succeed, she taught we need to know what the individuals in the community worry about, both to combat that worry and to provide shelter from it. With friends, music, and concrete values and laws amongst the chaos of the secular world, Jewish community can be a strong ally in the face of fear. On the same holiday that we read the account of trembling at Sinai, we pray in a joyful musical mode, and we eat cheesecake to show how sweet it is to study Torah all night long. That same rabbi who advised us to ask congregants what worries them also advised us to ask, What wakes you up in the morning? What gets the Jews among us excited to live life? What are a tradition that holds love of God? Think, for example, of the first and second paragraphs of the Shema, one outlining the love we hold for God and one outlining what we have to fear if we do not follow God's word. Our ancestors chose to take on this tradition that balances excitement and fear with the knowledge that life requires an embrace of both. I'm very touched, Anna, that you chose the Federation as your mitzvah project, and that means a lot to me, because I will tell you that when I first came back to Shreveport, I was offered a trip to Israel by the Federation, and that's really what was the springboard for me to embracing my Judaism. And so it's what a wonderful segue here. In fact, I bet you that the Federation would love to have you as their president sometime soon.
In fact.
So anyway, I love your streak of competence today. I love the way that you're daring and step up to challenges, and you've done remarkably well today. So I'm just so proud of you, and I will leave you with this one last word. The love of your mother is the greatest love you'll ever see.
I feel like I should have had a bar mitzvah certificate for you now, too. That was a good sermon right there.
I'm going to tell you what, reading trope, I don't even know how to read trope. My kids have surpassed me. I'll have to call them little grasshopper now.
They can teach us. But anyway, okay, so I guess I'll have a last few words. Thanks again for everyone who chose to be here today, online and in person, to support Anna. And I see one of Anna's very first teachers out there, Miss Edda. So thank you so much for coming. Really, that was Anna first read so much to Anna when she was a tiny baby, and I'm sure that inspired her throughout her education. And thanks also for Robin Jones, our neighbor, who was there the day Anna was born, traveled in. So thank you so much. Okay, so yes, as Ricky said, Anna Yalit is my fourth. My baby, some of you remember her with the big blue eyes, who I used to call Boo-Bookins. Not sure that fits anymore, but that was her name. And so after 3 kids, I wondered, should we have a fourth? Do I really want a fourth? But my heart said yes. And so here she is, and we're so glad. Really, it may sound cliche, but I can't imagine life without her. Anyway, so of course the day Anna was born, I did some calculations in my head, and I realized that at one point, this was in 2010, I was going to have 4 teenagers the day Anna turned 13, 15, 17, and 19, all in the same house at the same time. And so that day seemed daunting, and fortunately very, very far away in the future. But now, we've still got a couple months maybe, but anyway, the future is now, and so here we are with 4 teenagers, or just about 4 teenagers. And some days the attitudes and the emotions are really hard on all of us, parents and kids. But deep down, I love Anna and Milena, Alexander, Natalia, Margalit, everyone, Ricky, and and their growing independence. Very much. Okay, so Anna is bright and makes lots of friends, and maybe spectacular hair. And her voice can be very sweet and very soft, but don't be deceived. I know you are not deceived anymore. She can be loud, and she can definitely speak with confidence and authority. And her dedication to learning and perfecting her Hebrew, which is no easy feat, has also been an inspiration. Of course, it helped to have her friends, Ivy and Caroline, working alongside her, and to have rabbis and teachers who related so well to her. Nevertheless, the process, as many of you know, took many hours, many years, in fact, and Anna proved to be a serious and willing student. One thing I like about you, Anna, is what a beautiful dancer you are. I don't know how many of you have seen that, but Anna is a beautiful dancer. Just have natural rhythm and grace. I also really enjoy your comedic sense. Okay, so in second grade, I have to always share one of these stories. Right? In second grade, you got a few roles in the class play, Flat Stanley. Yeah, you weren't Flat Stanley, but anyway, when I went to see you in that play, Anna, I saw magic. You played a classmate of Stanley's who saw him just fly away like a kite at the school bus stop one day. In the script, you had one line or so to say, but you didn't just say one line. On stage, in a kind of Valley Girl meets hip hop style, you improvised a few more lines and made a little role into a bigger role that got everyone in the audience laughing hysterically. And if anybody wants to see, I do have that video on tape. But you were awesome. And Anna knows this, but I sometimes imagine you one day taking the stage as, I don't know, like Lucille Ball or Kate McKinnon, you know, someone like that. And Anna always, I know you say it won't happen, but something great will and already has happened. And I know you will use your special gifts, be it your sense of humor, your crazy laughs, or your ability to think and reflect deeply, to build bridges and make the world a better place. I'm proud of you always, and especially today as you take this big step into Jewish adulthood. Your family and your community led you to God and to the study of Torah. And now you can run with it. Our world is so full of divisions, as we see every day, so full of divisions and fear. You come from a very large and diverse family, which includes people of different faiths, different generations, different genders, sexual orientations, races, political viewpoints, states, nationalities, physical abilities, and I could go on and on. And it's my hope that your connections to your family, to all of us, as well as your connections to Torah, will help you in your life's journey to always notice and accept others and their perspectives in your own words and actions. And one last thing, okay, Anna, may your comic wisdom entertain and enlighten all of us. You go. I love you.
In Judaism, at a time of happiness and specialness, we have a prayer that we sing, and it goes like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Thank you.
You know, at times like this, we like to acknowledge the parents too and all the things that they've done in our community. And it would take us forever and ever to talk about all of the many things that they did. I was so glad when she got the Torah portion that she did and she got the Haftarah portion that she did, because it tied together. And if you didn't know, the reason why Ricky stood up here at the very beginning and said, I feel like I should make a financial report, wasn't because he panicked about how many mouths he had to feed for the reception. It wasn't about today at all. He is the treasurer for the Federation, and we surprised him. She surprised him with suggesting the Federation as what her mitzvah project was going to be about. And he is the treasurer for B'nai Zion. I don't know about the Federation position, but I can tell you the B'nai Zion position kind of turns out, I think, don't look at the bylaws, but it's like a for life. He's treasurer for life at B'nai Zion, and we are very grateful to him for all the things he's done. I have known him for, I think, for as long as I've been here, which is over 30 years now, and he has always inspired me and has always been there for me, and I think that almost anybody in the community would say that too. Everywhere I go, people talk about how he's like my brother, and he's like the father to my, he's always there for everybody. And the Torah portion that we thought she was going to be reading from, when it was just this morning's portion, is about blessings. And I think that having Ricky and the whole family is a blessing in our community. But the Haftarah portion that she read from is about birth. And I don't know how many, I mean, probably most of you know, probably better than I do even, but that Maureen help many people give birth, helps the birthing process, helps to train people in the glorious ways of birth, in ways that the medical profession doesn't treat you the same way as what she does. It's a blessing. There's nobody I know who hasn't had her in her life as part of the process that hasn't been a blessing for. And I love how much they support each other. And it's been a blessing in my life to have them both. To watch these kids grow up, it's kind of crazy. When you said the big blue-eyed kid, it kind of had this flash of things. There's going to be a slideshow that you'll see outside of the Lefkowitz Hall of, it looks a little bit like that, the handout you have, only more, and you get to see Anna and all of her glory. But you just saw her in her glory today. So you think you're done, but we still have some more things we have to give you. We have people representing other parts of our congregation. We don't have like a check from the treasurer. We never done that before, but so the treasurer gets to stay seated. But we're going to call upon the representative from the Brotherhood to talk to us about why you're getting this big, heavy book. And I'm just going to give you a little aside about this. Mitch is coming up. I hope you have tissues, because Mitch always makes me cry when he does this. But we used to have a place in town that would emboss the books with the child's name on it, with the adult's name on it. And their machine kept breaking. So Mitch, I don't know where he had this, but he's got like this antique embosser that still works. And when I didn't know how to work it, I looked it up, and I got to talk to the guy who's the son of the inventor. He's in an old age home in California somewhere, and he was so excited to tell me the story of the machine that Mitch gave us that's working, that helps honor you.
It was with great pleasure to represent the Brotherhood. At one time, I was president of the Brotherhood. Another time, I was president of the congregation. And I've worked with your dad and your mom and your grandmother at all times here in the congregation. And I want to tell you the story I always remember here. Before this sanctuary got remodeled, right above the ark, there was a big window. And that's where the choir was. And that's where the organ was. And it was a great big organ. And so we had to get the organ down this little narrow stairs. I don't know if you've ever been up them.
Yeah, it's one of the secret places I take the kids.
And the problem was, it was a left turn upstairs to get into the stairwell. But when you got to the bottom, it was a right turn. So your daddy and me and a couple of his men had this organ in the stairwell. And we got there and we couldn't figure out how we were going to make the right turn. So we had to lift the organ up above our heads, turn it over, and all I could think of was I was going to die under that organ. But we managed to get it out. And it's still being around. It's with Ben Maxey. He keeps it for us and plays it. But I thought you did a fantastic job. And I'll give you this prayer book that you can carry with you wherever you go, while you're at college and other times, so that you can always remember us. We bless you.
Thank you.
That sounds like it was a story about organ failure almost. You died by organ. Organs are crashing on you. So now we have the representative from the sisterhood which is pretty cool because, in Shreveport, it feels like everybody's related to everybody. I like to joke that I came from a lot of years of collating and mailing things and doing that. I love doing that. Once you get to the L's, you're more than halfway through. In this community, once you get to the M's, you're just started. You've got so many Miravs in the family. But Donna is here representing the sisterhood, and Donna we've got candlesticks to give you from the sisterhood, and she's related as well to this family.
Second cousin.
Exactly.
Anna, I am so honored to present you with this gift, and I love how the rabbi encouraged you to be loud and proud last night and today, and all the members of sisterhood are very proud of your accomplishments today. I know especially your grandmother. So I can see the love of Judaism in your family, in your big, beautiful smile, and your sweet tears. So congratulations, and you did an awesome job.
I really didn't expect you to be the one crying. That really surprised me. Of all the things we practiced, we did not practice that. Representing the congregation, presenting her certificate is Mr. Bernard Lobel. No? Yes? You got a seat on the inside. And while he's coming up, I wanted you to notice that Bernard noticed the poppies outside. This is also Memorial Day weekend. It is a happy occasion as we're celebrating Bat Mitzvah, but it is also a solemn occasion as we remember the veterans who passed away in the line of duty. This is the certificate that you get to present representing the congregation.
Anna, this is an unexpected pleasure.
We tried to make it so that the people who speak are even more nervous than she is. We did this on purpose.
You were amazing. I just can't get over it. You're a rising star here.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. So the next thing is, so you may sit for a minute. I think you're done. I think this one's mine. This one's yours. You get that one. I'll take this one. So we have a wonderful new tradition in our community that when there's a simcha in the community, that the whole community worships together. So Gudat Achim did not have services at their building today. Gudat Achim is worshiping here with us. So we have, I think, a representative telling us some of the announcements from Gudat Achim. It's time for us to do it. Our president. So, and while Rebecca is coming up, let me just let you know that our schedule for the rest of the week is that we now have a funeral tomorrow morning. Daryl Muslow passed away this week, and the funeral is 10 o'clock tomorrow here. They'll have a reception afterward. And we have swapped, therefore, the time when we're putting flags at the cemeteries, at the Jewish cemeteries, to be at 3 o'clock instead. We'll start at Greenwood Cemetery. If you want to join us at that, everyone is welcome. Monday, we are closed for Memorial Day, and Tuesday, we begin our summer office hours of 9 to noon. I am supposed to be on hiatus this summer, so everybody else is responsible now for leading the services, which sounds familiar, but I think we're both going to be doing almost the same announcement here for this. So there's no pressure. You don't have to be as good as Anna, but she's willing to teach you how to do this, and they won't be streamed over the summer, which is what I was trying to say. Not today. Today is streamed, but the rest of the services over the summer will not be streamed, so what happens here stays here.
Well, first I want to say that Anna, I could have used you last week when I was doing the annual meeting and the plea for volunteers and donations. So just schedule some time next May to talk to me and help me put that together for me, because you did an excellent job with that. And I can't wait to see you and your siblings, come up and start being on all these committees and things like that. Give your dad and myself and some of the other older, folk a break from it. Because when I see your family, and when I see you, and I see a lot of the young people here, I see the people who are going to be standing here in 10, 15, 20 years, running this Jewish community. And I hate to be the bearer of bad math, Rabbi.
Uh-oh.
But I remember when we started this tradition of the combined services, and it happened to be my son's bar mitzvah. My son's going to be 27 this year. So more than almost 15 years we've come together, and those of us who've grown up in other Jewish communities know that this is amazing. Where I grew up, you might go to school with somebody and you probably wouldn't go to their bar mitzvah because it was at the other synagogue, or you did and you just were uncomfortable, and that's not the situation here, and we all know each other, we learn together, we worship together, and that's amazing. Unfortunately, we do have to make a choice tomorrow. So, because in our announcements...
Ooh, we should have changed that too, I'm sorry.
And at 3 p.m. we will be having a memorial service for Ed Dibner at Agudath Achim.
We can change ours too. Change it again. Let's say 4:30 we're meeting for flags. It's only the 5th time we changed that. 4:30 tomorrow to make sure you can be at Dibner's memorial tomorrow at Agudath Achim.
And that's the other thing, is that I think we're really good about juggling our calendars between the 3 organizations, the Federation and both congregations. Our offices will also be closed on Monday, May 29th for Memorial Day. Planning ahead, garden cleanup, June 4th, 9 to 11 a.m. June 10th, Ben's Club will be presenting the Dibner Award to Bob Lockman during services Saturday morning. I didn't hear it in your announcements, but well, you haven't had your announcements yet.
A little bit. You do it. Go for it.
Okay. Just a reminder that the North Louisiana Jewish Federation's annual meeting is going to be June 11th. And their board and president and director would be appreciative if you got that RSVP in.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
No,
well,
not
yesterday.
It
Was
was
Chag, but after Havdalah, if you haven't signed up, let them know. Camp Chai, also Federation, is going to be July 10th through 14th for ages 3 through 13. More information is on their website. I will invite those of you who usually stream B'nai Zion. We will continue to stream through the summer, except for one weekend. So feel free to watch us over to Agudath Achim, or come and pray in person with B'nai Zion.
That sounds, or come in person and pray with Agudath Achim even. That's allowed on Saturday mornings.
Absolutely.
They're always
well,
there.
I wasn't
We're
gonna
not
try to
there.
tell people not to come here.
We're not. We don't have Saturday mornings at all. Go to Agudath Achim on Saturday mornings. It's a good idea.
Speaking of Saturday mornings, next week is actually Naso.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you could go read your Torah portion next week if you
I
want.
was going to say,
And certainly she knows the Haftarah already.
As much as I love Rabbi Feivel, who's probably going to be learning it, you did such an excellent job. It was so clear. I could understand. I didn't have a Hebrew to follow along, but I could understand what you were saying without looking at the translation. Excellent diction.
That's what we said. Good.
All right.
So the only other announcement that I'll make, and I appreciate that we're doing this together, is that donations were made to B'nai Zion and Sisterhood Flower Fund in loving memory of Mortimer Hertzberg by Deb Collier, in loving memory of Fred Phillips by the Phillips and Kallenberg families, and in honor of Anna becoming a Bat Mitzvah by her family. At this point, I guess you can sit for a minute. I know you got to come back up again. We didn't organize that part very well. Not on Shabbos. There are no steps on Shabbos. We don't count them. I like to say that there are no calories on Shabbat. And if you've met Rabbi Sidney and Rabbi Feivel, Rabbi Sidney is 32 years old. They just had their first baby. The baby's 6 months old. He's adorable, Shalom. And every time I say, there are no calories on Shabbat, she said, well, that's not true. I'm like, wait till you're older. You'll trust me on this one. So there are no calories, there are no steps, we don't have to worry about it. We continue on page 586 with the Aleinu, but we are going to, I'm going to ask you to stand, but before we say the Aleinu, I have a special private blessing I have to give to Anna, and then we will continue with the Aleinu. So please rise when the ark is open, if it's okay for you to stand. Max, you can turn our mics off. Bottom of page 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula yotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'atzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol amonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu.
We continue singing on page 590, on page 591.
V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo
When the ark is closed, you may be seated. And we continue on page 597. I don't know about you, but when I look out at this congregation today, I am looking at so many other generations of your families that have been here, that have made this community what it is, and are still here with us, even if they're in our hearts. It is a beautiful and a bittersweet moment to be able to be here together. And look at who's here today. There are many people who grew up here and moved away. I didn't know you and your kids, but I met you when we were burying your parents. And I love to see everybody here today. Thank you to the Murovs for allowing us to have a wonderful, joyous celebration to be here for, and to have all of the people who had come before us in our hearts. And that's what today is about. We will be commemorating some parts of CCAR where we remember all generations, and we are remembering those who died this past year. In this section of the service, we're going to be changing the order a little bit. We are going to begin at the bottom of page 597. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. In our congregation, we honor the memories of those who died in the line of duty this year. We remember that there were 12 people who died in the United States military this year. We're especially mindful of the fact that there were many people who died to defend this country, as it's our Memorial Day weekend. This year, since January, the beginning of January, we've lost 44 police officers, including 2 this week, 5 of whom were from Louisiana. We've lost 7 canine officers. Those are the dogs that are part of the police force, including 1 who died this week in the line of duty. And we've lost 28 firefighters, including 1 who died this week. As we remember all of those whom we hold in our hearts, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We continue on page 593. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death, all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We've set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love are we comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. We turn to page 599. This is where we are improvising a mishmash of Yizkor with our regular Shabbat service, because for some of us it's not Yizkor, but for some of us it is. So at Max 2 on, please. Okay. At B'nai Zion and at Agudath Achim, we acknowledge everyone who died, who's connected to our congregational family in this Jewish year of 5,783. We remember Jerome Harold Black, his name was Jerry Black, Larry Courtney, Charles Edward Crawford, Linda Leah Engelbert, Howard Finkelstein, Julius, also known as J. Gam, Jacques Gigue, Helen Wiseman Landsberg, Ruth Lewis, Jerry Miller, who was the mother of Melinda Kent, Ruthie Neerman, Dr. Susan Shaven, and Herman Van Oss.
And at Agudath Achim, we're remembering Paula Cornelius, Ed Dibner, Harvey Audra Lynn Vaz, also Ruthie Neerman, Howard Silberman, Shirley Sperling, Jonathan Thompson, and Betty Wilson.
We also think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. Do you have any shloshim? Paula Cornelius. And we also acknowledge the congregants' parents who died this past. So first I should ask, we have a congregation here of people who I don't have names for. If you have anyone, an immediate relative who died in the past 30 days, please call them out. You can put them in the chat if you're watching online. We also acknowledge congregants' parents who died the past year. B'nai Zion, we've lost Jerry Miller, Linda Leah Engelbert, Ruthie Neerman, Charles Edward Crawford, Jerome Harold Black, and Ruth Lewis.
We don't have a tradition of sharing the year.
Those names. And but we did for Yizkor. They're all still included for that Yizkor list. And we have those for whom we're observing Yortzites today. So included in our list. So from Agudath Achim, we have
Hannah Glinsky and Mildred Rubin.
B'nai Zion, we have Claire Anthony, Tamara Atkins, Gussie Chernick, Celeste Dreyfus, Gustav S. Friedman, Alvin Gard Spain, Claire Goldberg, Clara Goldman, Mortimer Hertzberg, Robert Houston, Ruth Kallenberg, Carl Levy, Ralph Perlman, Fred Phillips, Keith Rabinowitz, Esther Rosenthal, Barney Rubin, Aaron Selber Sr., Molly Shanhouse, Richard Stewart, Robert Simon Treif, Ann Weiss, Mildred Lottie Werner, Jack Wiener Sr. Does anyone else have anyone for whom they're observing Yortzeit this week? We include those and those whom we've drawn into our hearts with our own Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for blessing. Some people stand for the Kaddish because they are in mourning for a close relative. Some people stand to honor the memories of those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, including so many who perished in the Shoah during the Holocaust. Some people rise to support the mourners. If it is your tradition to do so, please rise for the Mourners' Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithalel v'yithalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. You may be seated. So you know we're getting close when we're about to sing. We turn to page 626 for our closing song. You'll never guess. You don't need the words for anything else in this book. I'm just going to tell you. Even if you've never been here before and you've never been to a Jewish service, you can fake this. I'm not kidding. You got this.
Ein Eloheinu, ein Kadonenu, ein Kemalkeinu, ein Kemoshienu, Micheloheinu, Michadonenu, Michemalkeinu, Michemoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Emalkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
And for another thing you really don't need the words for, but you could go to page 605 and 606 if you want to. I am going to grab, come here, I need your help with this. Which one would you rather have, the thing that you won't spill or the thing that you won't drop?
This.
Okay, all right, let's go down here. I'm going to ask Cecile's family of Ricky's people. Cecile, do you want your whole family to stand up or just Ricky's family to stand up? Just Ricky's family, please stand and help us with this. You want to stand with us? Hold this. We do a short kiddush. Come here. Let's go this way so you can see us. Max, you doing side camera or something? We need grandma in the picture too. You got us? Max? You got it? Got us? Front? Okay. We're going to say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen l'chaim arokim umitokim. And then we're not going to make everybody drink. We'll be here all day. Everybody gets to drink in a minute. Some challah. Ready? Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Everybody grab some, make a mess, see if I care. Good job. Now, if everybody would please rise for a closing benediction, then you're all welcome to the Kiddush luncheon that follows. Thank you, thank you. You ready? Oh, come on, not again. She's right. So I'll tell you, for those of you who don't know, here, come off here for a second so we can see everybody. You may have learned it with amen at the end. Did anybody learn amen? Okay, so we don't say amen at the end if we sang the song. There's a tradition that, so amen kind of means I agree. So you don't have to say the blessing and also say, I agree. It feels like one of those political endorsement commercials, but we don't have to do that. So we say b'tei avon, which is like saying bon appetit in Hebrew. B'tei avon, b'tei avon. So the kids are learning that at camp, and we're doing that here. You ready? Help us bless each other, because look at what a blessing it is to be at simchas together. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted up to you, because we know that God looks up to you. And whatever it is that God put in you to be you, you got to be the best you can be. And may God grant you peace. Shabbat Shalom, Mazel Tov, everybody. This door gets you to the Lefkowitz Hall, and that door gets you to the Lefkowitz Hall. This door doesn't have stairs. That door has stairs. Celebrate, everybody. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov.